right, guys, it's me again. I'm Emmett Starworth, the Alpha Builder. And in this video, I want to talk a little bit about me. I am from the country. I'm from a small town. It's called Evergreen, Alabama. That's about 70 miles south of Montgomery. I grew up there back in the 70s. Guys, if you guys know anything about small towns, we didn't have a lot of exposure. So people that we thought that made a lot of money back during that time was doctors and lawyers, because those are the people that we've seen in very high profile positions. And so, like I said, doctor, he kind of controlled whether or not you live or die. And lawyers, you saw them if your family had some kind of conflict or there's something that was going on, there was a divorce or dispute, you went and you saw judges and lawyers and stuff. So you figured that those guys had authority, so they were the ones that made the money. So guys, I always wanted to be a doctor. That was my thing. In Evergreen, Alabama, where you have the Conecuh sausage. And so I actually ended up leaving home. I was really good at mathematics now. So I did really, really well in mathematics. Not that good in English, but mathematics I was really good. And during that time, you had what they call special education, was kind of jumping on the scene. And they were actually going to try to label me as special ed, but my mathematics scores were so good, it balanced everything out. So I ended up leaving because I was really good at mathematics and I wanted to take advantage of that. And one thing I ended up doing is I left home at around 15 years old and I moved to Montgomery, Alabama by myself. I went to Jeff Davis High School, the volunteers. And at Jeff Davis, they had something that a lot of, I went when I was in my 11th grade year. But guys, when I went there, they had what they were just coming out with the AP courses, which was advanced placement. And this allowed you to get college credit if you did well on that AP exam. And guys, me want to be a doctor. And not only that, guys, if you took enough AP classes, you could actually, you could almost go into college as a second-year freshman. And so I wanted to take advantage of that because I wanted to go to college and get it all over with because I wanted to be a doctor, guys. I had to be that doctor. I didn't think about lawyer. I just thought about doctor. Only doctor I knew that existed was medical doctors, but I knew that they made money, so that's what I wanted to do. So I did. I went to Jeff Davis. And I was really good. I was taking an algebra course. I took algebra 2, and typically, guys, back in the day, you had to take geometry first. You took geometry as a sophomore. And then after your sophomore year, you took algebra 2. Well, guys, I was behind because I was coming from Evergreen. So I ended up having to take geometry as a sophomore. I'm sorry, I had to take it as a junior. And when I took it as a junior, I had to double up. If I wanted to take AP calculus, I had to have algebra 2 because that was a prerequisite. So I had to double up and take both of them. But guys, I was really good in algebra. But what I did not know, and guys, you got to understand something about mathematics. And I'm going somewhere with this. Mathematics, you have to do it every day, all the time. You got to do your homework. You got to work at it. Mathematics is a skill. You got laws, and you apply those laws to whatever problem you're given. You create a skill set, and it teaches you how to solve problems. Guys, solving problems is a skill. So I was really good in algebra, but one thing I didn't know, guys, this right here was a whole nother ball game. I was doing good in geometry because we was doing the algebra stuff. But then we got to this one portion in geometry because I had to end up taking geometry and algebra in the same year, in my 11th grade year, because I was behind, so I had to double up on the math. And guys, when I took geometry, when we got into the second semester, we started talking about proofs. And guys, it's one thing, I'm telling you, the proofs They were different. It was unlike any other math I've ever seen before in my life. And I just couldn't ask them because I was supposed to be good. I was supposed to be ahead of the other sophomores or the guys that were already in the class. I was supposed to be ahead of them, so I couldn't really ask them for help. But I was doing horrible, and I was just thinking, I was like, man, I'm gonna flunk this class because I can't do proofs. And so, man, and then here's the thing, guys. I was in my classroom and I was looking around, and probably about 75% of the class, they couldn't understand it either. 25% they got it because we used to go to the board back then. Go to the board and they do their proofs. Like, man, how in the world they do that? I just couldn't get it. Them proofs was killing me. And here's the thing, guys. I started trying to look for allies. I'm looking in the classroom. I'm finding allies. I'm finding people who could side with me, and we can just say that we all can't do it, so you can't flunk everybody. And if that didn't work, we was going to try to figure out a way to make the teacher accountable instead of us. And I just sit there, guys, and I would, night after night, I sit there and stare at those proofs, and I just couldn't do them. And so one day, guys, I went to class, and I was sitting there, and once again, I was looking for my allies, and a lot of people was having problems in that class. And the teacher was outside. She was out there. I guess she was talking in the hall before she came to class, but we had to put our homework problems up there. And so I started getting my allies. I was like, guys, we need to all get together. We can't do this right here. And we need to put it on the teacher because she ain't teaching us nothing. She ain't showing us how to do it, or she didn't do this, that, and the other. We pointing fingers at that teacher. Everybody. And I got some allies, and we were all feeling the same way. They started thinking about, hey, we might need to get our parents and stuff involved. Of course, I didn't have my parent with me because I was out on my own at 15. So we started getting that thing together, man, and the teacher walks in. And we was trying to get a mutiny against that teacher. I was one of the ones in the background because there was other people that were feeling the same way I felt. And that teacher said something that changed my life. Give you kind of how it transpired. She said, who doesn't understand how to do these proofs? That was a question to the class. And once again, about 75% of the class raised their hand. And she said, good. And that's when she said good, that you guys don't understand how to do these proofs, that was verification in me that she was trying to fail us. She was trying to flunk us, and we was going to really get her now. But she came back with this. She said, good. I finally get a chance to teach you guys how to do this. And then she said, when you leave here today, you will know how to do these proofs. She said that. And you know something? That day, she drew a light bulb on the board. That day, I learned and I knew how to do proofs. They were a little different than regular algebra. And I worked at it. And I worked at it. It became a skill set for me. It became such a skill set to me, guys, that she put me on the math team. I was one of her competitors on the math team. I mastered that skill set. But I never will forget that day. She said, before you leave here today, you're going to know how to do that. And her confidence in me and the students there changed my life, guys. I went on after that, guys, to get a bachelor's degree in mathematics as well as work on a master's in mathematics at UAB. Guys, that skill set that I learned the skill to problem solve, think, and do those proofs. It changed me. It changed me. I'm saying that to say this. Construction, guys. If you master a skill, once you get it and the light bulb go off, and guys, most of the time, yeah, you get introduced to these skills, it takes about 1,000 hours to become proficient at that skill. But once you have that skill, no one can take that away from you. You got to master a skill. And here's the thing, guys, we talk about, once again, we're being replaced. And if you're an American, you're being replaced by AI, and you also have to compete with immigrants now that are coming in, and they're coming with skills. Guys, get a skill. Plumbing, carpentry, cabinetry, sheetrock, paint, skill set that you can use your hands. Master those skills. The sky's the limit. That's one thing that I know that's true, because I'm witnessing it myself. That teacher, I remember her just like yesterday. She has inspired me, and she has actually changed my life for the better. And I like to say this, and I wish she was still here with us today. Miss Dorothy Peterson, thank you. Thank you for changing my life. You guys like, share, and subscribe.